All right, let's go. We'll be solving a two-sum Leetcode problem, one of the easiest solution. So let's find out what's the problem and how we can approach it. So we have an array called nums and an integer value called target. What we have to do is we have to find a pair of values from the array nums that adds up to the target condition. We cannot use the same value twice. For example, let's say in example 2, 3 and adding up 3 again can gives us the target 6, which is a bad thing because the condition says exactly one solution cannot use the same element twice. So for example, if we have to get 6, we'll have to do 2 plus 4. So there are two different elements at two different indices, and once we find the solution we have to return their index. Easy as that. We have to make sure we get a valid solution and is of efficient, has a like good time complexity. So targeting for big often. Let's see. So we have a class defined, we have a function defined. We'll go run a loop for I in range of my array. We'll go for the length. We'll see, we also need to define a hash map to store the value so we don't run multiple loops. Here we'll do whatever is the value at index I in array, we'll store that in correspondence with the index of that value. Then we'll define one more loop I in range, and same thing, we'll do length of my array colon, and then here we have to calculate what is the value we get when we subtract from the target. So value of that element at certain index in that array minus the target and the value we get. And once we have that value, we check if that value is in my array. If it is good, is there, good. Then we also need to make sure we are not doing duplication. So we also need to make sure, let's say if y is in h, make sure that that value, the index of that value is not the same as the index of our specific value right there. And then if it is good, we will do return the index of the value we get and the value that adds up, that gives us the target. And let's make sure we have a hash map, everything looks good. We have two loops right there. We checked the value that adds up to target and we made sure it's not doing duplication. Now everything looks good. Let's run and see. Great, all test cases passed, and we can see that everything looks good. If you guys have any comments, you can leave that in comments. And just a simple overview, just use a hash map, then ran a simple loop to go through all the elements, just stored all of that elements in a hash map so we can have a correspondence, so we can get the indexes of the values. Same thing right here, similar thing, we just look for what value adds up to target and blah 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 everything, and check if that value that adds up to the target is in our dictionary, that is in our hash map where we stored the values from the array, and also checked if the index of that specific value is the same index as the current index, so we don't do duplication. And once everything was fine, we just return the index of the value as well that was from the hash map, and as well as the current index. Easy as that. Thanks. Hope this was helpful.